What's up, plant lovers? Devin is here, and today we're going to be talking about Christmas cactus propagation. This is one of my favorite house plants. It produces some of the most glorious flowers in the middle of winter time when we need color the most. Now, these plants are super long-lived. In fact, this plant that you're looking at right now is a portion of a plant that my friend gave me from his great-grandmother's plant that's over 60 years old. That's what I'm talking about when I say these plants can live long. So knowing how to propagate them is essential so that you can share their beauty with those you love. It's very easy to do, and in this video I'm going to show you just a couple quick techniques to propagate them quickly, easily, and efficiently. Alright, so let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to look for a piece of the plant that's around 3 to 5 inches or so of this stem. These are actually, in fact, flattened stems. They look like leaves, and that's what most of us call them, but they are in fact flattened stems. So we're gonna look for a portion that is about 3 to 5 inches, and the best places to propagate are sections that have these nice Ys that makes them really easy to propagate. So, and you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 segments, and it's around 4 inches long, so this is a perfect candidate. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take our 2 little fingers, maybe 4 little fingers, and we're actually just going to simply twist it off right at the stem. Look at that. Here is a perfect piece of propagation material. Now, my recommendation is to take a few pieces off at once. So I have already taken off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 segments right here. Once we have our segments taken off, what we're gonna do, we're gonna just let them dry out for around 2 days, 48 hours. That's gonna allow the end pieces, or the end of the segments, to callus over so that when we actually go to plant them or propagate them in water, they're not going to rot. So that brings us to the next point, which is how to actually get these planted up and propagated. So I took these segments a few days ago, so these are nice and ready to go. And there's 2 methods that we can go about propagating them. My preferred method is just planting them right up into some soil. I use a blend of soil that is 50% houseplant bagged potting mix with 25% perlite and 25% sphagnum moss. And the second way is to propagate them in water. So I always like to start with a pre-moistened soil. I've already given it some water, and that makes it really easy. Then I have my nice little chopstick, and I'm just gonna make a nice little section in the pot. Then I'm gonna take one of my segments, and we wanna plant them about 1/3 of its height underneath the soil. So I would say like right to about there, we'll plant this entire segment in the soil. Pat it down just like that. And then, like I was mentioning, I like to do a few because it makes a nice full look. So I'll probably just do this whole first segment, just like that. All right, I think that looks pretty good. All right, for the next step, there's really a couple things you can do. If it's warm, as in above 50 degrees at night, place this guy outside in a shaded area that's sheltered from the rain, okay? Within a month or so, it's going to be creating its new roots, and probably you're gonna see some nice new top growth at that time. Propagating them outside is very easy to do. The other thing that you can do is put them on a heat mat, which is my preferred method because it's really easy, and giving them that bottom heat is going to allow it to produce roots even faster, okay? Let me show you my little setup. Here you can see my setup. I have this heat mat. I have this plastic tray underneath it to catch any excess moisture. This little guy is only like 15 bucks. It's super cheap and very, very helpful, and it really helps propagate plants much quicker. I have a couple other propagations going on here at the same time. Check the links in my description if you are interested in getting one of these. It is worth its weight in gold. And then I have these lights, which are on a 12-hour timer, and that's also just gonna help to speed the process up a little bit more. And then in about a month, you'll start to see new growth coming out of the ends, and that's your signal that yes, your plant has succeeded. So I propagated this little section 3 months ago, put it directly in soil, put it outside, and it has all of this new growth coming out of the ends right here. And so this has been a very successful propagation. Okay, but so what do you do if you want to propagate it in water? So I have one segment here, and what you're going to do is you're basically just going to place that bottommost segment into water. It can be a little bit tricky to get the right setup so that your plant stays upright and not too much of your cactus cutting is sitting in water. You really just want about 1 inch of your segment in that water. And likewise, I will also put this on my heat mat, and that's going to help to initiate roots even faster. You can also, put some rocks. If you have like a normal glass jar, you can put some rocks at the bottom and then fill it with water and then kind of like stick them in the rocks, and that's going to help them to stay upright pretty nicely as well. And then once this guy has some roots, I'm going to plant it right up just like I did those other guys, and it's going to be really nice because it'll already have some roots and it'll start to quickly produce new top growth. It's been 3 weeks since we put our propagation in water, and you can see the roots are nice. They're about 1.5, maybe 2 inches long. This is pretty good. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna take our cutting. Now I'm just gonna plant this up into this guy, kind of fill out the rest of this pot. Just take my chopstick, make a nice little well, just like we saw before, a nice little hole. And then we're gonna plant up this entire first segment under the soil. Pat it down a little bit, give it a little bit of water, and there you go. Good to go. You can really do this propagation at any time in the year. However, if it is summertime, warm weather, and you're able to put them outside, that's definitely gonna ramp up the speed at which your plants propagate. But it's very easy to do if you've never done it before. It's a great opportunity. With Christmas cactus, there's so much room to play with, to propagate, and to give it a try, all right? If you do have any further questions, make sure to leave them in the comment section below. I always do my best to answer each and every one of them. Thank you guys for joining me here on Plant Vibrations. Consider subscribing. We're bringing new plant-related content every single week. I'll catch you guys soon. Ciao.